Yo, what is up guys? Before the video starts, make sure to like and subscribe. And also, make sure to tune in for the high elo tier list, which will be coming a little bit after this one. And also, this is gonna be a bit ambitious, but if you get 15 likes on this video, then I'll be making a new series where I try out new games that I've like new genres of games that I never tried before. For example, League of Legends, Rocket League, etc. So if that sounds cool to you, please make sure to like and subscribe so that I can start making it. Anyways, by mid elo I mean gold to diamond, so gold 1 to diamond 3. Now diamond might be high elo, but in my opinion it's a middle ground from low to high elo. It's kind of in the middle of low to high elo, so I'm just gonna put it on the I'm just gonna include it in the mid elo tier list. Yes, anyways, kicking things off with Breach. Now Breach is pretty good in mid elo because like his flashes are really annoying, and in the low elo tier list I put him pretty low because in that elo there's not a lot of team play and he is a bit hard to play sometimes. But in this elo you're gonna get much more team play. People are gonna be actually doing executes and stuff, and Breach is, in my opinion, like really good with executes. And not only that, but Breach is really good at initiating your duelist. Like, let's say you had a Jett, then Breach with Jett is like really good. And with low elo your duelists are not gonna be as good, but in mid elo your duelists are gonna be much better, so playing Breach can really benefit the team. That's why I'm gonna put him in A tier. Next off we have Brimstone. Now Brimstone is not really that good in mid elo. He's good in low elo simply because he's easy to play, but in this elo he's not that good because he's outclassed by pretty much every single other controller in the game. He's still decent, and if you know post plant lineups it could be pretty good with him. And also, being an agent that's easy to play is still a bit important in mid elo. That's why I'm gonna put him near the bottom of B tier. Next off we have Cypher. Now Cypher, again, like most sentinels are falling out of the meta a bit, and while he's pretty good in pro play, he's just not as good in mid elo. Also in mid elo you still like, well, team play, but in mid elo like team play is still like is more important than it is in low elo, so he's gonna be higher than he was on the low elo tier list. So I'm gonna put him in the mid B tier for now. Next off we have Jett. Now in my opinion Jett is the best agent in the game for mid elo because like she has like really high carry potential, and plus she is a bit hard to play. But in mid elo you could start playing her more because like in low elo she's just a bit too mechanically dependent, but in mid elo you have like pretty good mechanics, so you could play her really easily. Next off we have Killjoy. It's the same thing with Cypher. I'm just gonna put her at the like above Cypher because like, you know, she's a bit more team oriented and she doesn't really have as much carry potential, but carry potential gets a bit less important in mid elo. So yeah, she's around the same power level as Cypher. You could probably use them interchangeably. Next off with Omen. In my opinion, he's the second best agent in the game for mid elo because he's just so good. There's a lot of flexibility with him. Like, you could play passive, you could play aggressive, and he's the best controller in the game. Like, no doubt, like no controller even comes close to how powerful he is. Next off we have Phoenix. Phoenix is gonna be a solid A tier. Now Phoenix is like probably one of the most team play oriented duelists other than maybe Yoru, because with Yoru you want to like coordinate like lurks and stuff like that. But Phoenix is still really good, but in my opinion he's just like he's fallen out of the meta a bit. There are some duelists that are a bit better than him in my opinion, but he deserves A tier still. And next off we have Raze. Raze is going to be at the top of A tier. She has literally been blast packing her way into the meta. Like, she is honestly really good, and she has an extremely high skill ceiling. She's easy to play at first, but like once you learn more stuff and more tricks about her, like the tricks that you could do with her, like the double and triple boost, it's really hard. And in my opinion, like that's a pretty good thing for mid elo, because in mid elo your skills start to improve, so you'll be learning like all the hard stuff like the double and triple boosts, and that'll be helpful to your gameplay. Anyways, with Reyna, she's still gonna be S tier. She is an extremely hard carry agent, but again, as I said, hard carrying isn't as important as it is in low elo. In low elo, I'm pretty sure she was like the best agent. I'm pretty sure I put her as the best agent in low elo, but in this elo, hard carrying is a little less important, so that's why she moved down the list. And he's with Anyways, with Sage, I'm gonna put her at A tier. Now, Sage is really, really good. Like, not only like she's a bit more focused on team play, and like in low elo you want to pick like duelists because those are like the ones with the most fragging potential. But in mid elo you could like start picking like sentinels or other roles and stuff, because fragging out doesn't matter as much. But even if you wanted to, you could easily frag out with her, and she's just a really, really good sentinel because she has her wall. You could like do crazy wall spots, and you could like heal after you take an engagement. So she's just really, really good right now. Anyways, for Skye, she is the worst agent in the game for mid elo. I'm pretty sure in the low elo tier list I put her in D tier because she's just absolutely terrible in low elo. She's just slightly better in mid elo, but I'd still recommend you wouldn't play her, like unless you're like diamond or something and you really like her and want to check her out and think that she's really cool, then I guess you could try her then. But she's just not worth learning in this elo. Like, I wouldn't start playing her or maining her at least until you get to Immortal or Radiant. Next off with Sova. Now, he is an easy S tier. He is just so good at getting info, but like in the low elo tiers, I put him in A tier just because he is so hard to play. And like, you know, he's an initiator, which are going to be lower in the low elo tier list because your teammates aren't as good. But now that your teammates are getting good, and you could start playing a more hard agents because you're going to be in like gold to diamond elo, you could easily start learning with Sova, and like you're going to get a lot of value with him, trust me. You could do aggressive plays, and you could, like in this elo, he's going to be a bit easier to play, and he is easily S tier. He's easily the best agent in the game, but he still might be a bit too hard. That's why I put Jett and Omen above him. Anyways, with Viper, she is going to be at the top of B tier. Now, like in the low elo tier list, I put her at C because she is a bit hard to play, but once you get into mid elo, she gets like, you could start learning her now, because even though like you could probably start learning her because like your mechanics are good and all that stuff, and you have better game sense. And also not only that, but she's like almost a sentinel, like, and a controller combined, because she could just easily lock down sites because of her wall. And if you like go through it, you take 50 damage, and no one's gonna want to do that. And she is like really, really good. And if you get like in this elo, people are gonna start doing executes. So again, you can start doing like Viper executes, like Viper lineups, all that crazy stuff, because there's gonna be a lot more team play in this elo. Now with now with Yoru. Now Yoru is gonna be at the bottom of B tier for me. Like, it's not that he's bad, in my opinion. I feel like they did a really, really good job with the agent balancing. Like, pretty much all the agents are viable now, except maybe you could make an argument for Brimstone not being viable because all the other controllers are better than him, but he's still viable. But like with Yoru, he's just like not as good as the other people. He's a bit more team play oriented, which again you're gonna find more of in mid elo, but like still he's just not really as good as most of the other duelists. And if you want a lurk character, I think Omen is probably better and more well suited for that. And finally with Astra, I'm gonna put her at the bottom of A tier. Astra is really, really good because she's a bit hard to play, but that should be fine for low elo. She's definitely fine for, no, sorry, that's definitely gonna be fine for mid elo players. And she requires a bit of team play because, like, you know, her abilities, you could like fake out people, and you could like fake sites, and you could fake rotates and all that stuff because of that fake smoke thingy that makes the smoke pop up for 2 seconds. There's a lot of potential with team play for her, but team play isn't as prominent in this rank as in the higher ranks. Like, if this was an Immortal to Radiant tier list, I might have put her a bit higher, but I think that she requires like a lot of team play, so I'm still gonna hold off at putting her too high. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. This is my mid elo tier list, aka gold 1 to diamond 3. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.